What is going on, Nissan Nation? We got a good one today for you guys. I've worn my high lift shirt for this one because I am pumped up. So, the Nissan Terra, and you're scratching your head going, Dave, what in the world are you talking about the Nissan Terra for? That thing isn't even in the United States. And we're global, we talk about everything, right? And I actually like the Nissan Terra. I think it's a cool design. Of course, it reflects the current Navara. You see that design in it, but it actually is, if you look at the structure of it, the underpinning of it, it's a natural third gen to an Xterra. And no, we're not talking Xterras here, we're gonna talk Terras. So if you look at the thing, it's got 3-row seating, which I'm not a big fan of for a mid-sized vehicle. I just don't see it. I think we have the Nissan Pathfinder for this, but I rolled this Terra right into the United States as is. And I talked to a Nissan rep about this a few months ago, and she was like, I got to drive the thing. She's like, it drives great, but the interior it would need to be a little plushed up for the United States market. And I say BS. That thing is perfect for the United States market, and here's why. Because when the first Xterra came out, it was everything you need, nothing you don't. It didn't need leather seats. It didn't need all this fancy push button everything. It didn't need cameras that pop out of the roof and like show you, your neighbor's house down the road. You just didn't need that stuff, or you don't need that stuff in what this vehicle would represent. This vehicle would just take the place of the Xterra. Now, we're going to get into what I would do different about this in just a second, but let's look at it. So look at the insides. You can see, as you see, you've got, it just looks like the natural, look at the center stack. It's a natural kind of progression of what the Xterra was, what their mid-sized platform was. Yeah, if you look at the steering wheel and stuff, it's very Navara-like, but there's nothing wrong with that, and Navara sells everywhere else but the United States, right? So clearly Nissan's done their homework and made that work. It has all the safety features we currently want in in our new modern vehicles. You got the 360 shield, all your blind spot warning and all that. If you look on the mirrors, you've got all the little flashy for the turn signals, all that. I think this would be a hit. Look at the radio. Let's look at that. Look at the center stack. You can see in the center stack, it's got the new modern 7-inch touchscreen in it, and it comes already in the Philippine market. It comes with Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, so things that we don't have in a Frontier right now. This thing they're getting in other countries, which makes me think that Nissan could fold this thing, just push it right into the United States market. It's got, once again, it's got the 3-row seating, which I'm not a fan of for this. Once again, we have a Pathfinder, you've got a Murano, you've got plenty of vehicles in the Nissan stables that fits this, but there's a lot to why Nissan could do this. Look at the kicks, and you're like, we're talking about Terra. Why are we talking about kicks? So the kicks was not designed, I repeat, was not designed to be sold in the United States. That thing was designed to be sold in the South American market, and that's where it's supposed to have been. But Nissan has a way of, their cheapness has a way of, when they need a new vehicle, a fresh vehicle in the United States, they go, hey, let's just pluck this one and just put it in the United States market, which is odd to me because it shows that, one of their biggest, if not their biggest market, they're kind of taken for granted a little bit. But rewind back, we're back to the Terra on this one. So Terra fits perfect in my eyes. You need just a few upgrades, just to freshen it up a little bit. I like the headlights already. There's nothing wrong with that. It works on the Navara, and when you see Navaras lifted, you're like, man, those things look great. Those headlights look aggressive. But refresh the front just a little bit, and maybe does it get the Frontier, the new 2021 Frontier look? I would think so, but it doesn't matter because the underpinning, the cheapness of Nissan would win here by taking and plucking this thing and putting it in our market. That's basically the same underpinning now as what we have here in the States. You'd have a few tweaks. You'd need some crash standards, you'd have to go through some testing on that just to meet our demands here in the United States, but I think this thing would work. But you're like, Dave, cool, man, we're going to bring a Terra in, we're going to call it the Xterra, and oh boy, man, Xterra guys are going to go nuts. No. I don't call this thing the Terra, and I don't call it an Xterra. And you're like, what do you call this thing? I call this thing the Nissan Patrol. I do. And you're like, well, what are you nuts, man? And here's why I call it the Nissan Patrol. So Nissan's new advertising thing is they're going to really start pushing heritage. They've been in talks about wanting to bring a Patrol to the United States anyways. And you don't take the Armada. The Armada sells, there's a certain demographic that the Armada sells well in. I mean, they're not selling 100,000 of those things a year, but the Armada sells. And it's on the current Australian version Patrol platform anyways, even though we don't get all the goodies that the Australians and the Saudis get. It's still basically a Patrol. But I think the Patrol for Nissan's heritage is gotten bloated. I think it's too big. Yeah, the V8 is awesome, and those in Australia I know love that thing compared to the little turbo diesels they've had. But it ain't gonna cut it here in the United States. It's just too big for the type of adventure off-roading we do here. But the mid-size Patrol that this could be works perfect. You can get it with a rear locker. You got all the same safety features that their modern vehicles have. You get it with the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. So you've got a nice, I think you would go with a little bit bigger screen than a 7-inch screen, but who cares? This thing is made to adventure. This thing is already packaged to take on Toyota 4Runner. That's right. Nissan needs to quit going after where their marketing is. They need to quit going after every car manufacturer with their safety stuff. They need to purposely take on Toyota. That's right. Even with Titan, only take on Toyota. That's your competition. It's not GM, Ford, or Chevrolet. That's their competition there, and that's where your competition is with a mid-size SUV, because the big three, nobody has anything in this category. They've let Toyota own this market. I mean, yeah, I guess the Wrangler kind of takes this on a little bit, but it doesn't. Wrangler sells because the looks never changed. It's cool looking. It brings back a lot of emotional memories from World War II on. You can put 35s under the thing from the factory. Yeah, and it's got a straight front axle, which most manufacturers are never going to do anymore. So don't fanboys going, man, he's on something. Let's put a straight axle under this thing. Never going to happen. But the Wrangler does own a big segment of your kind of rock crawlers guys. And now with the Gladiator, yeah, you're getting kind of some of the Overland guys wanting to jump in on that. But back to Toyota. Toyota's let 4Runner own the Overland segment. They sell, I think, almost 100,000 4Runners a year. Everybody gave Toyota this market, and there's no competition for it. And that's why the Terra, to me, fits right in the U.S. market labeled a Patrol. Once again, you get lockers. You can get a locker in the rear already in the Philippine markets with this thing. I would do a Pro 4X version, and I would offer a front and rear electric locker, and that's about the only upgrade I would do to this thing, maybe besides a little changing the front end just a little bit, just because we've seen this already. What do you guys think of this? Do you think the idea of bringing a Patrol to the United States, or badging the Terra as a Patrol here in the United States, do you think that would be a home run or not? Once again, I think it would be. I think we don't change anything, leave the plastic materials in it because it's easy to clean. Do away with the third row because we don't need it here in the United States. We already have big vehicles that they don't have over in the Asian markets. And it's a home run. Once again, in the comments below, let me know what you think about the Terra. Does it get the new 3.8 that the Frontier's getting? Could it get the look of the Frontier, the new aggressive look that it's going to have? And do you leave it? Do you put a couple off-road lights on the roof, some fun colors on the thing, and badge it Patrol? So, once again, in the comments below, let me know what you think. Smash that like button if you like the content we bring. It does mean a lot, and it does help keep these videos up there. So, from all things Nissan here in my messy office, to wherever you're watching me around the globe, this has been your Nissan Nation podcast update, and we're talking Nissan Terra or maybe Patrol. Peace!